You see the phone light up with an incoming call. Your whole body tenses. Your mind scrambles for excuses. Most of the time, you just let it ring out. But give you a few minutes, and you'll happily send a long paragraph, maybe 3, explaining exactly what you think and feel. People might call you immature or antisocial. They say, "It's just a call, why are you being weird?" But they don't see how different your brain feels when it has time to think and type, instead of perform on demand. Psychology says this isn't just a random quirk or a sign that you're bad at communicating. Your brain genuinely prefers a different kind of processing, one where you can move at your own speed, choose your words carefully, and reduce the pressure of being watched in real time. When you understand that, ignoring calls and loving long texts stops looking like a flaw and starts looking like a very smart adaptation to how your mind works. One major piece here is processing speed versus processing depth. Some brains work like fast streaming, quick, spontaneous, thinking out loud. Others work more like a deep download, slow to start, but very detailed once it's done. If you're someone who hates being put on the spot, phone calls can feel like a race your brain never agreed to run. You're supposed to listen, think, and respond all at once, with no real pauses. Research shows that introverts and deep thinkers often prefer written communication because it gives them time to organize their thoughts. Your brain isn't slow in the sense of lacking intelligence. It's slow because it likes to go deep. Long texts let you send the full, well-thought-out version of you, instead of the rushed, half-formed version that might show up on a call. Another factor is cognitive load, the total mental effort required in a moment. Phone calls secretly demand a lot of it. Your brain has to track tone, timing, pauses, background sounds, and the other person's emotional state, all without visual cues. In texting, you can stop, reread, think, and respond. When your mind has settled, psychology says removing real-time pressure can drastically reduce anxiety and mental fatigue. This is why a 5-minute call can leave you drained, but 30 minutes of texting feels manageable, or even comforting. Your love of long texts is not avoidance of connection. It's your nervous system choosing the channel where it can function at its best. Social anxiety and self-monitoring also step in. If you're highly aware of how you sound, whether you're saying the right thing or whether you're interrupting, phone calls can feel like walking on a tightrope. There's no backspace, no edit button, no time to rewrite a sentence. If you've been criticized or misunderstood in the past, your brain tries to avoid situations where mistakes are permanent and immediate. Research on self-consciousness shows people who monitor themselves intensely often prefer written communication because they can review and adjust their words. Your essays over text are not proof that you're weird. They're proof that you care about clarity, kindness, and not saying something you'll regret. There's also sensory processing sensitivity. Some people are more finely tuned to sound and sudden interruptions. A ringing phone can feel like an alarm, yanking you out of your mental space and forcing instant engagement. Your nervous system might interpret it as a mini threat, something urgent now. Even if it's just a casual chat, texting is asynchronous. You can respond when your body is calmer and your environment is quieter. Psychology links this sensitivity to deeper emotional awareness and stronger noticing of nuance. Hating calls doesn't mean you're fragile. It means your system gets overloaded by abrupt demands for attention, while written words feel safer and more contained. Finally, there's a boundary and control piece. Phone calls give the other person access to you immediately, on their timing, not yours. If you grew up with weak boundaries, or had to be available for others all the time, your brain may now protect you by resisting anything that feels intrusive. Texting puts some power back in your hands. You choose when to open the message, when to reply, and how much energy you have to give. Psychology would call this a self-protective strategy. And while it can go too far, at its core, it's your way of respecting your own limits, which is actually emotionally mature. So if you hate phone calls but love long texts, it doesn't mean you're childish, rude, or antisocial. It often means you have a deep processing brain, a sensitive nervous system, high self-awareness, and a growing sense of boundaries around your time and energy. You're not bad at communication. You're just better at it. When you're allowed to breathe and choose your words, next time you feel guilty for ignoring a call or choosing text instead, try asking yourself, what does this say about how my brain works best? Not what it says about my worth. And if you want more videos that explain your so-called weird habits, with real psychology and real compassion, subscribe. Share this with someone who lives in the text bubble like you do. And keep learning that different doesn't mean broken. It just means thoughtful.